Yo, it's JasMar's podcast again. We tried to do this earlier, but we were pissed. But shit done calmed down dramatically. So we doing it again, nigga. Word, Mac Anthony in the building. We ready. Tonight's special guest um is the mother of a legend. You know what I mean? Uh, and I mean the dude who she raised went the opposite direction. She was brought up different, but her legacy in XTV is pretty good. You know what I mean? She just been there. You know what I mean? Every generation of XTV, and we hear her story. 90%'s mother, OWANA. How are you tonight, ma'am? He was about to say, "What up? How y'all doing?" Word. It's good to have you here. It's good to be here. It's good to be here. It's great. So, Owana, you were born February the 3rd, 1969. That's right. I was born in Haiti. Um, and we went from Haiti to Jamaica because my father was in the military. And we went from Haiti to Jamaica. We went to the Caribbean. We moved all over the place. The thing is, my dad, he said he served in World War One. He served in World War One. Word. Oh no. Excuse me. The Civil War. He was in a Civil War. Are you laughing at me? No, nah. I swear I'm not. Oh, okay. But he served in the Civil War, and you know, he 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 once he got back home, there wasn't a lot of jobs for him because you know how it was in the '60s, a lot of prejudice. So when he got home, he worked for the mob. He went to work for the mob, and it was called Black Disciple Mob Family, something like that. But he got involved in crime and different things like that, and he made more money doing that, street. And so, after a while, a lot of the people within the mob, that was in a conflict within the mob, and a lot of people telling on people and all that, and my dad was a snitch ass nigga, and as a result, he snitched on a whole lot of people, and that's why we moved to Haiti. We moved to Haiti and we moved to Jamaica because they were tracking us down. It's not like today where you got all kind of thing to track people down, GPS, exactly GPS and all these different. We didn't have no modern day devices, but somehow the mob, they grew so big where they knew my dad when he was in Haiti. They knew when he was in Jamaica, the Caribbean, and it got hectic. You know what I mean? Especially when my mom had me. She didn't want to raise me up around violence, and she's seen a lot of violence. She's seen a lot of violence. You know what I mean? That's my mom. I mean, she passed. In '92, but that was one strong woman. You know what I mean? You know, because she went through a lot. You know what I mean? A lot of abuse, a lot of segregation. And she remained strong in 1992. I remember being at her bedside. She passed from dementia, and I remember being at her bedside. Um, I just I say I'm crying. I'm crying. She said, "You cry like little beach. Don't cry because I'm dying. Live better than I live, beach. Stop being a beach." And she was just that tough. Even when she's dying, she doesn't want no sad ending. No, be happy. I'm not gonna be here with your bitch ass crying all the damn time because something ain't working out. Be strong and stop being a beach. And She was just tough like that. It wasn't abuse. It was just like, no, toughen up. Cause this life, you're gonna see a lot of death. You're gonna see a lot of life, and that's just what she brought me under. You know what I mean? To the average pussy, it's really tough and it's hard to deal with. But for the normal people that go through real hard shit, middle class America, we ain't voting for Trump type shit. We understand. But that's just how I feel. Word, word. I don't get into politics, yo. Me neither. I think it's all a game, though. You know what I mean? But I know what you mean. Anyway, so you was born. I mean, growing up, I know you said your dad tried to keep you away from all this, all the conflict with the mafia or the mob or whatever. You know, uh, did you experience any of that? Uh, Probably when I was 3, I started to see, certain things. It was late at night, you know what I mean, and it was actually 3 in the morning, and I just remember my dad we had just come home from watching movie, you know what I mean. We were having a good time because the thing with my family is we move so much, you know what I mean. We moved Haiti, this place, that place. We moved all over. We never had a place we stayed at for more than 2 months. You know what I mean? And it was just like moving and moving. And so it got to a point though where we were in Haiti. You know what I mean? And we were doing good. You know what I mean? I was finally getting to learning my family and shit. It was crazy. And my my dad took us out to the movie. We went to go see Jungle Book. You know what I mean? And everything was going really good. You know what I'm saying? And he was super happy. And I think during the movie, somebody gave him some type of slip, and I just remember my dad just sweating and panicking really fast. He was like, "How much more longer for this movie go off? Damn, fuck Mobley." You know what I mean? And he's just like, "I want to get out of here." He's shaking and sweating, like and so he finally rushes home. Open the door, dropping the keys, and I go to sleep. It's like, just go to sleep, baby, just go to sleep. And 3 in the morning, I had something busting the window. You know what I mean? And it's my dad's fighting, and you know what I mean. And it's this crazy fight, and there's a bunch of people in the house. There's guns and there's shooting and all this. And mind you, I'm just 5, so I'm like, whoa. And yeah, that was my first time seeing it, and it wouldn't be the last. It wouldn't be the last. Or how many times did you see little shit like this? Oh, lot. Plenty of time. Like the last time I seen something like that was, of course, with my dad. When he got killed. You know what I mean? And at this point, I was well into I was 16, and it was just crazy. It got worse and worse. We were in the Caribbean at this time. You know what I mean? And these guys just come. We come right from a grocery store, you know what I mean, and buying whatever, and they just come on motorcycle, and they shot him. You know what I mean? It was crazy, and I remember screaming, you know what I mean, and crying. And my mom's there to hold me. She got shot in the leg, you know what I mean? But she's trying to be strong for me. She's like, "Stop crying like a beach. Stop crying like a beach. You didn't get shot, beach." You know what I mean? And it was like that though. It was real tough. And when he passed though, it was sad and unfortunate. To understand, I love my dad. I mean, as crazy as it was when we moved here and there, my mom was the hard one, but my dad was the one, like, "I love you." He showed me more love than my mom. My mom was like, "Stop being a beach," but he was like, "It's okay to be a beach, just don't keep doing it." You know what I mean? And so, when I lost him, it really hurt me. Word, shoot, that's already a tough life right there. You know what I mean? Pop Duke running from the mob, yeah, yeah. And you, your fam trying to keep you on a straight and narrow. They don't want to involve you in that, but yo, his past caught up with him. Exactly, exactly. And probably at that time I should have seen therapy. But I didn't. I just I continued to live. You know what I mean? And but once he died, stuff was steady though. We weren't running from anything anymore. You know what I mean? We were able to live, and that's when we moved to America. Well, my mom moved back to America, but it was my first time in America because I was born in Haiti. But we moved to America, and we moved to Brooklyn. I think we moved to Brooklyn. No, no, no. We moved to Queens. That's right. Moved to Queens, and I went to school out there, and I'm thinking, oh, we're going to America. It's because all the violence I've seen in Haiti, I'm just like, okay, good, we're going to America. Maybe this is more peaceful. I went to Brooklyn in the '70s. That's all you need to know. You know what I mean? Not like no punchline. Brooklyn in the '70s. And it was crazy. But it was a different kind of crazy. It was just you need to watch your back. You know what I mean? It's like to me, Haiti and Jamaica and all that, the violence and stuff, it was like watch your back, your front, your left, your right. But nah, Brooklyn was like watch your back. You know what I mean? People trying to scam, shoot, scheme, and all this. But it was cool. I finally got on my feet. I got my first job as a nursing assistant. Word. And I did that because I completed school. I went to get my doctorate and all that stuff. And, I was nursing assistant. And that was fun. It allowed me to travel, different places because I was making so much money. And, I was traveling, seeing a country, and I moved to Atlanta, Georgia, and I met Rank Frank. Rank Frank is '90s pops, right? Yeah, yeah. Um, he had a weird name. You know what I mean? He had a very weird name, and he was so southern. Me, I'm of Haitian. But him, man, that guy, he got me, man. Just his manners, you know what I mean? It's like, hey, how you doing, Rank Frank, 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 Frank? You look pretty, Rank Frank, Frank, Frank. And for some reason, that really turned me on. You know what I mean? I was like, oh my God, the way he said, hi, how are you doing? And, it was love at first sight. I'm pretty sure that doesn't exist anymore. It's the new millennium. You got to do a lot for a girl. Text her, call her, pretend that, you know what I mean, you ain't got no other girl, even though you probably do. You got to do all these different things. But it was a different time period. You know what I'm saying? And me and Rank Frank hit it off. Word. And, man, we took slow steps. It was just like, and we learned each other. Like he met my family, I met his family, you know. And what can you say about Rank Frank though? Smart man, very smart man, And we just we kept talking about everything, you know what I mean? And I think what a lot of people would find stupid about him is how he says things. You know what I mean? It's like he's intelligent, but he says it in such a basic southern kind of way where it's just like you sound stupid. You know what I mean? It's not completely by the book. It's so country and just kind of like oh, this is how it is. You know what I mean? And he's a very this is how it is. This is how I see it type of person. He's not like, a big word here, a big word that to describe this one thing. He's just like, look, it's ugly, fuck it. It's pretty, I love it. You know what I mean? And that's just pretty much how he puts things out like that. Very simplistic, however, it is intelligent if you're not listening for big words. Word. So we headed off, and we started making love. You know what I mean? No wedding or nothing, and we moved to Brooklyn, and that's when 90% or Flamingo Johnson, my son, as you may know him, that's when he was conceived and eventually delivered. You know what I mean? And we were just, I was happy. And, I was extremely happy. The whole family was happy. It took me and Frank to know each other during a course of 10 years. You know what I mean? And I'll say by year 10, you know what I mean? That had to be. I met him in, I want to say 75. I want to say that. I thought you was born in 1969. No, no, I wanted to tell you that when you were doing my introduction, you fucked up, Jazz. I was actually born in 1940. I'm old as hell. Oh, okay, okay. But anyway, met Frank in 1975, and we kicked it off. We loved each other, and we went with each other for 10 years. Let's see. No, I met him in 1970, and we were going together for 10 years. There you go. And Flamingo was conceived in Brooklyn. He was born, you know what I mean, in Brooklyn, and he had a pretty tough life too. Frank, you know what I mean. He had a very excuse me, tough upbringing. His parents were slaves. You know what I mean, during the slavery era and all that stuff. His family were slaves, and so they had a very slave mentality. You know what I mean, and they treated him like that. You know what I'm saying? Like they treated him bad sometimes. And that was his upbringing. So two different rough upbringings kind of meet story, and we see Flamingo and we're like, okay, man, we can't raise him like we both were raised and have him see what we seen, but we could only do so much. I love Grandpa Joe's podcast when he talked about his kids and stuff. You know what I mean? It's just like it's only so much I can do. You know what I mean? I love you, but it's at the point where my love can protect you from destroying yourself. You know what I mean? It's hard to say, and it's hard to come to terms with that because everybody loves their children. You know what I mean? You love your kids, but at the end of the day, when your hands are tied and you can't do anything and you're defenseless because they want to do things to themselves, you gotta pray for them as much as you can because they aren't listening to you. They're just following into these steps that you don't understand. Maybe it's something I'm not understanding. Maybe I'm not seeing something. Maybe it's not go this way, go this way. Maybe I need to go a certain place. And yeah, damn, yo, ill. So you had Baby, AB, and I think Michelle too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Them girls were bad. They were ratchet. Word. Yo, they were ratchet. Yo, they were really ratchet. I love all my family. I love all the kids I had. But I gotta say, out of everybody, I'm very proud of Yosie the most. You know what I mean? She stayed. I know she was gonna go through a ratchet phase. You know what I mean? I knew she was gonna go through that. I knew it. I was just because when I was, I skipped a good portion of my life. I skipped my ratchet phase. Where, yeah, I was like los. You know what I mean? I was like, bitch, fuck everything. You know what I mean? I come there dressed in skimpy outfits just to, you know what I mean? Look at somebody and put them down like, yeah, you want to look at me because you want to fuck me, but you can't. Ha 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 ha. I want those stuff like that. You know what I mean? And but I grew out of it. And I knew as a result of me having that behavior, I knew Yosie was gonna go through that. Go through that. I knew she was gonna go through that. So I wasn't mad. It was like, this is what you were. You know what I mean? And she's very successful now. She grew out of it just like I did. You know what I mean? And she's has a very great man. She has great kids and stuff, and she's a great mom. You know what I mean? I'm also proud of 90 as well, of course. You know what I mean? Hold on a second. 90% was born December 19th, 1980. He was the best of all my children. I can't do it. I can't do it. So 90% was born in 1980, right? That's right. And you know, from the start, like that was your oldest child. What was it like, you know what I mean, raising him? Well, actually, I'm just going, what was it like raising all your kids? Very rough, you know. When I had my children, even though I love my mom and I can't say one bad word about her, I love her, you know. But I noticed when I had my kids, you know, all of both of our family, me and Frank, they were so lovey-dovey about our relationship. But when kids came to, when they came to, they just like, you know, they wasn't helpful. They wasn't supportive. You know what I mean? And they wasn't trying to teach us things. We had to learn everything on our own. You know what I mean? And it took us a long time. We didn't know why our family was like that. You know what I mean? I ain't raised a nobody kid. You know, everybody was like that, even his family. But we did what we could. You know what I mean? We tried to take care of him as best we could. And you know, Yosi, she just loved wrestling. You know what I mean? It's like I remember AVW. He'd be over there wrestling Macho Man. You know what I mean? Or King Kong or A-Man or somebody he used to wrestle. I can't remember. And I just be, you know, one minute we walking in the grocery store. I'm like, where's Yosi? And I'm panicking. Where's baby? Where's my baby? And I'm going crazy because at this point I think she was the youngest. And I'm just scared, you know what I mean? My heart is beating so hard. And where's my Yosi? I look in the corner, she's, get him, AVW, you know, she's cheering on Anthony. Don't scare me like that girl. You know what I mean? Word, word. That's crazy, man, because, you know, I think she's mentioned that she just used to be, love AVW, love him. You know what I'm saying? He was like a good guy, and I think Macho Man was a bad guy, some shit like that. Yes, yes. And, you know, later on down the line, you know, I just started just taking her to those events. And, you know, that's when I remember meeting Sister Loretta. You know what I mean? A man's mother. And Sister Loretta, man, let me tell you, she was just so tough. She was so strict. And that's how I learned most of how to raise my kids by. I learned it from her. You know what I mean? And I just kind of went under her umbrella of how to, you know, be, because, you know, she's a strong woman still to this day, so strong and tough. You know what I mean? Tough as bamboo stick. And, you know, I remember I had neighbors that got on my nerves. You know, they used to always play Rick James, Hard to Get. And he played it super loud, and I hate that song to this day. It was hard to get, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? And I told her that one time. I said, look, Sister Loretta, I got neighbors. They keep playing Rick James. You know what I mean? I'm tired of it. You know, they play Eddie Murphy super loud. That album isn't funny. I don't care what nobody says. And, you know, she finally said, I'm tired of hearing you talk about that. And so she finally goes to my neighbor's house, and next thing I know, I see poof, and the neighbor done fell out the window. Rick James records are broken and thrown out the window, and it looked like the scene on the XTV Jungle Fever when Walt was getting thrown out. Whoa, you know, and that's just I just really like respected her. She respected me. You know what I mean? And from that point on, we became the best of friends. That was my nigga. Word, word. So, you know, y'all meet, you got your kids and everything, you know what I mean? Was it crazy having three girls and one dude, like, one boy, it got crazy, cause I'm a girl, so I know how to take care of girls, but Flamingo's a man, and around this time it got tough, cause me and Rank Frank were getting into a lot of serious arguments, a lot of serious arguments about bills and all this, cause working as a nursing assistant at the time wasn't really cutting it, you know. I was just an assistant, and the money wasn't that good. I had $100 checks, you know what I mean, and I had to make it stretch for everybody. I had nights I didn't eat, you know what I mean. Nights I didn't sleep because I don't have a bed to sleep in, but I make sure my kids have a bed to sleep in, you know what I mean, and they got something. And Rank Frank, he had his job. He raked. You know what I mean? And that's all he did. He just raked people's yards and end up with $60, you know what I mean, in his pocket. And I just got kind of tired of it. I'm like, I'm a female. I'm doing, nurse work, making more than you. What are you doing? And stuff hit the fan. And that's when I found out, that he had a drinking problem. You know what I mean? He had a serious drinking problem, and he gambled. He was really gambling. A whole lot, you know what I mean, and drink and gamble. That's all he would do, and we just argued and we butted heads. We didn't see each other, that often. That's why it took years for people in XTV to see that. OWANA goes with Rank Frank. Like I think people found that out in 1999. You know what I mean, and that's just how it was, At first, before the kids, we were cool, but when the kids came, the true identity of each other really started coming out. I was a hard working woman, and that nigga wasn't shit. Word. Show interview. This is JasMar podcast exclusive shit. So, I mean, did y'all ever marry or anything? Oh, we were thinking about it. You know what I mean? We were watching Luke and Laura on the stories and shit. And we thought that we were gonna end up like that, We thought we were gonna be the perfect couple. You know what I mean? Because once the kids came, we're like, look, it's just like TV. We got kids now, We thought our life was a fairy tale. But real shit starts to reveal itself once real shit happens. You know what I mean? It's like it was this fairy tale love before the kids, but now that the kids here, it's like, no, this is life, responsibility. You know what I mean? Okay. And yeah, we just started butting heads. We were gonna get married. He gave me the engagement ring, and I remember pawning that. Flamingo don't need diapers, bitch. This ring ain't shit. You know what I mean? And when I did that, to me the marriage got even more destroyed. Cause I remember he said, "Where's that engagement ring I had gave you? I got a pawn it to get more beer." And I'm like, "You care more about a beer, a liquid substance that make you drunk. You care more about that than your own children." He said, "Damn right, them kids ain't gonna get me drunk. I'm just gonna love them. Fuck that." You know what I mean? And that's when it got real, and we argued from that point on, and we didn't get along. But he never put his hands on me. I will say that about Rank Frank. He never put his hands on me. But I will say, we were trying to work it out because, he wanted to be a good dad, but he was just drinking so much. And so it just got harder to raise my kids and keep a good track of, the stuff that was getting put into them. Because I don't know where Flamingo slipped up. Quite honestly, I don't know what happened. You know what I mean? Like I said with Yosi, she went through the ratchet phase, and she got back better. AB and them, we still keep in contact. We talk on the phone. Actually, Michelle's in the military. You know what I mean? And she's doing pretty well for herself. I hope she gets to be put on the podcast, but we still talk. I just hope she get to put her story out there. All of them, Michelle, AB, Yossi, of course. I hope they all get to tell that story. But out of all the children, the most that I ever had a problem with, oh shit, was Flamingo. Man, tell me about that. Well, Flamingo didn't get to see his dad not drunk. You know what I mean? Once he turned about, I'll say, 9 years old, and he started to kind of get a sense of his world and reality, and the questions era stopped. He was just like, man, who was this drunk motherfucker coming in my house every day? Ma, I see you working hard. You work hard. And all he do is gamble and get drunk. You know what I mean? And talk about Junkyard Dog losing the USWA title. That's all he ever does. He doesn't do nothing else. You know what I mean? And so he just started to grow up, you know what I mean, really fast. And he resented his father, you know what I mean? And, he just likes, I remember he told me at a young age, he said, Ma, I'm going to do whatever I can to never end up like that piece of trash. I'm like, you must not say that about your father. He said, why? It's true. It's true, Ma. It's true. You could slap me right now, but you'll just be slapping me and it'll still be true. And, that's just how he was. And, at this time, he's listening to NWA, Public Enemy. And, I'm noticing a change in him. You know what I mean? But that change was just motivation for him to just not be his father. But he didn't know how to not be his father. He just knew he didn't want to be his father. So that's when he started training, and at the age of 13, this is where it gets a bit bizarre. It's cool. He joins WWF. Okay. And he just, he was lovable Flamingo. You know what I mean? He wore lipstick. And, that was the character, though. But, a lot of people say Vince McMahon is racist. You know what I mean? Because anytime an African-American character is put in WWF or any wrestling federation, they're always looked to be some kind of ignorant. You know what I mean? Like some kind of just, or less masculine. You know what I mean? Flamingo, he could have been a tough guy, like a tough don't mess with me guy, but he was lovable Flamingo. You know what I mean? And he hated doing a character. But, he felt like that was the only way I can make money for my family. And, Yossi and Abby and them can eat at night. Is if I go out here and work my ass off. And that's one thing about Flamingo. He tried to play the father figure when the father was gambling and drinking. You know what I mean? And, of course, he got hurt really bad. He was in a match with Hulk Hogan, and he climbed this big pole or something. They were climbing. Yo, but I mean, and I ain't trying to be disrespectful to you, Miss Owana. Oh, go ahead. But you signed the contract for a 15-year-old son. Look. I already know. It's just, the passion I seen in Flamingo was just like, you know what I mean? Let me just give you this. You know what I mean? And he still did his schoolwork on the side and stuff. You know what I mean? It was just that's just what he really wanted. And he didn't ever shut up about it. So I just like, look, okay, go on ahead. And I just, cause this was an era when people were saying wrestling was fake. So I'm like, okay, it's not like he's gonna get hit for real, but he got in the match with Hulk Hogan, and he fell off of this ting, you know what I mean, and he broke his back really bad. He really, really hurt himself, like really bad, and it was bad. He was in a coma for like a year, I think. He was in a coma, you know what I mean, and he was just hurt, And everything pointed to he was gonna die. Everything pointed to that direction. You know what I mean? But he wind up, he got out of it, thank God. But life became very different from that point on because he was released from his contract. You know what I mean? And 90 really took that hard. Yeah. Mac Anthony, wake up. Yo, fuck you, man. Word. He took that hard. He was so mad. He's like, Ma, like, how could this happen? I'm just like my dad now. I just don't gamble and drink. I'm like, you mustn't say that. You must not say that. And he's just like, no, Ma, I am, Mama. Mama. And 92. That's when my mom passed away. And, 90 just, he got out of the coma and she dies. So Frank is somewhere drunk or gambling. You know what I mean? Complaining about Junkyard Dog or whatever. And my life from that point was really tough. 92 was like my worst year. 92 was my 2011 to super duper. It was bad. You know what I mean? And, man, when I lost her, like I heard it really bad. And, people seeing 90 on TV thought Lovable Flamingo was real, and they tested him in the streets. And when they tested him in the streets, 90 felt he had to prove himself. I took him to school here and there, and, I guess I didn't see what happened. And, next thing I know, I see a bandana, you know what I mean? And Tupac holla if you hear me playing really loud in this room, you know what I mean? And from then on, it was a different story. So tell us about Yosie, you know what I mean? Yosie was doing real good. She was probably about 3, you know. She kept this many. That was so cute. She used to do that this many, you know what I mean? And she didn't really have no clue what was going on, but she always cheered on, get him, brother. She used to cheer for Flamingo and stuff like that, you know. But Abby and them, I think they grew up and eventually they, went their own way. But it's just, Flamingo, 90. Oh my gosh. So 95 and stuff rolls around, and Flamingo, he hot shit, you know what I mean? With the A-Man Nation and all that, like they doing real big, SIDE doing big. How did you react to this? I was happy, you know what I mean? I was glad my son was successful. But what I hated the most is the image he portrayed. He went from playing lovable Flamingo, a flamboyant type of male, to a gangster street, I'm going to beat you up for looking at me wrong. You know what I mean? You go from one ugly image to an even uglier image. And that was really who he was in the streets for a while. But I took him to church in maybe 94 because, I remember talking to my mom, no, my aunt. I remember talking to her, and I was just like, telling her how Flamingo's becoming such a, troubled youth. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to control him. Do I take him to Jerry Springer? She's like, no, you don't take him to Jerry Springer. You take him to church. You know what I mean? If whoopings don't work no more, take him to church. And I take him to church, and it just seemed like he wasn't a thug no more, and he was good. And then he gets the call from SIDE. He's told what his character's supposed to be, and boom, you know what I mean? Yo, but he became the champion a few times. Yes. But the disrespect I dealt with from him from that point, because his head got big. You know what I mean? At first he was doing it for his family, and then he started to do it for himself. and I got put on SIDE, and the most infamous angle is him throwing me off the stairs. That really was real too, wasn't it? Yes, yes. Um, he was just really at a. This is when he was Black Flamingo. If Flamingo wasn't that bad, now he's in black. You know what I mean? And he just tore me off the stairs. He just like grabbed me and just did it, and people were like looking at him in a very negative light. But for some reason, that fed 90. Like, he liked being told he's evil. He liked being told he was bad. It made him feel good. Bad insults was good to him. You know what I mean? And he was horrible. And I wanted SIDE to die. I want this SIDE team to die. But it kept getting more successful. And I prayed that something good would come, and that's when Pain got big off of HY, and the movies in XTV got big, and that killed SIDE, and Yosi, on the other hand, I was so proud of her. She was winning women's belts, I think, or championships with Johnny Polo. Shout out to Yosi, you know what I mean? And even she got hurt one time. But I just knew she was going to be alright. So, like, Yosi was a fighter. Flamingo was just, a thug. So, SIDE shut down. Is time still hard? I'm a regular face on XTV now. So, I'm pretty popular amongst the people within XTV. Me, Sister Loretta. We're popular, you know what I mean? And we're still great friends. But it's just things started to change really fast, you know what I mean? And when Flamingo was a 2 on a game, on the Raw 2, that changed the dynamic of XTV. And Flamingo, like 90, lost himself, you know what I mean? And gosh. So where is Rank Frank? I mean, a lot of people say he's dead because, in my opinion, I think he should have been that dude in your son's life. Did he ever get clean? He almost died a few times. Almost died, from drinking. But I think he's put it down for good now. His best friend had cirrhosis in the liver from his drinking buddy. And a lot of his drinking buddies have died from drinking. And I think the most recent passing of his best friend has waking him up, and that was like 2000. He hasn't drinking since, you know what I mean? And he's just put it down, you know what I mean? And he doesn't even talk about Junkyard Dog no more. You be like, hey, remember Junkyard Dog? He'd be like, yeah, he dead, wrestling fake, so what? You know what I mean? And that's just how he is. But even he's sad. He was sad about 90% being that gangster. That's what we tried to turn him away from. We didn't want him to see that. But our life, just for some reason it's that way. But, one thing I got to say about 90% is he is a gangster with a conscience. Because when he does his show, he has something to say. He has a message. You know what I mean? And I was listening to one of the real collections or whatever he said, and I listened to what he said. I stopped being so mad and angry about him being so mean. And I said, it's not him being hurt, and as a result, from me being hurt, I'm hurting other people. This is what you have to be. You have to be tough, and I think that's what it is, a lot of times. It's not necessarily killing and all that. It's just being tough through all and remaining yourself. You know what I mean? Because people are going to chew you up, spit you out. Some people are going to accept you and take away what the good qualities from you and make it their character and then leave you with nothing. But you got to really step up and be like, hey, This is my light. This is my light. And if you steal it and you steal it, I see you. I see you. Fuck you. Dead, dead. You know what I mean? And that's just that's really his mentality. You know what I mean? Don't cross me. Because I am unique for who I am, and I am standing up for who I am, and standing for people that who are who they say they are, and calling out the fakes. You know what I mean? And that's just really what it is. He just does it in a very tough way. You know what I mean? But that's like my mother. She was tough. You know, she wasn't a gangster. So I can never get mad at 90%. You know, that's my baby. That's my son, my oldest son. And I'm very proud of him. You know, with the real podcast he did and all that. You know, his legacy is never going to be damaged. You know what I mean? And there's nothing nobody can do to his legacy. You know, it's just he made it. You know, he's successful. And Yosi, oh my God, I love that goal, you know. Word. So, I mean, like, you started to wrestle on a little thing. Yeah, yeah. Tell us about that experience. Originally, I wasn't supposed to be wrestling. This is a very serious story, and you know what I mean. In the process of Super Duper making me in 2006, he was very angry at a teacher named Miss Tucker. And so he went to create a wrestler, and he made my face, he made a big ass face, a super big face. You know what I mean? And he made big thighs and everything. And he started laughing super hard. And, you know, he didn't even put Miss Tucker. He put, you know, random letters, and it spelled out OWANA. You know what I mean? That's why on one of the older Joe Show episodes, that's why he's like, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Ola Wanla, or whatever her name is. That's why he was like that, because it was just a bunch of random letters. It wasn't like, you know, we sat there and, you know, her name's going to be Owana. But a botched Miss Tucker is who I am, and as a result, I was a great athlete, and I beat a lot of hoes' ass. Word. I mean, and you turned Joad on to MIA. You know what I mean? His ex girl, that is. You know, with your entrance and everything. You know, you just very unique. You know what I mean? What do you think your legacy is gonna be? Uh, the mother of great legends. You know what I mean? Life can really lead you into very bizarre places. You know, I mean, seriously. Like, I didn't want my son to be a gangster, but now he's a very successful gangster. I didn't want my daughter to be ratchet, but now she's a mature woman. You know what I mean? Like, but hey, you know, I accept it. You know, I give him no complaints. The man upstairs, I give him no complaints. But you know, that's what I want my legacy to be. The legend, the legend of legends. You know what I mean? I birthed a lot of great people. Well, yo, there you have it. JasMar's podcast. We gotta do this again, OWANA. I feel like we could have, you know, talked about other stuff. Oh, it's cool. We can do this anytime you want. Anytime. Word. Mac Anthony in the building. Always sleeping. Fuck you. Always sleeping. Till next time, take care of yourself. Take care of your health. Peace.